Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at how the TEQ Piccolo unit does in the Metal Cooler core event and basically just see how good he is as a unit. Now obviously I think he's probably one of the best defensive units in the game. I think that's without a doubt basically. But he does look really good. He's fantastic as a unit. I think there's no arguing with that. And he really can bring a lot to the party. I think he can bring fantastic tanking. He brings good damage. He has stunning on his 12 key. He lowers attack and defense on his 18 key. He does a lot. And I think him and Gohan both have the good mix of utility, ability, and damage, and just everything about them. So Piccolo obviously also brings something very special in that he brings his transformation. So that's also something that's really solid, really good. He obviously brings that ability to transform, that damage, and just in general how well he does without items, with items, and yeah. Now I'm not really going to show off the giant form so much. It is very good for Red Zone, but it works very similar to, for example, my Cell Max video. So if you've watched my Cell Max run, you'll see how good it is there. It's equally as good. It's just free damage basically, and also obviously Piccolo also brings a heal, so that's also super helpful as well. There's a lot of things that Piccolo does which I think are exceptionally good for the team and just in general. So there's a lot that I do value about Piccolo, so yeah, just to kind of point that out. But one thing that's really cool, especially in the Metal Cooler event, is in this phase against the Int Metal Coolers, Piccolo actually is incredibly helpful because of the fact that Piccolo, for the most part, can actually lower their attack and defense quite a lot, and this helps out a ton because by lowering their attack, it actually makes it a lot easier to tank their attacks across the board. So honestly speaking, some pretty cool stuff from Piccolo. I think personally very good looking in this event and in a lot of red zones. Only real issue with Piccolo is obviously his key. He doesn't necessarily have the best links, and he doesn't necessarily have the craziest linking partners. I think a lot of people were hoping for the physical Piccolo to easy A. I think that would have put everyone at ease a little bit, or not at ease, but would have made everyone feel really good about running this guy. But one nice thing is he does give the rest of the rotation 2 key when he gets hit. So there is a lot of like, how I can say, synergy between him and the rest of the team anyway, because the thing is like, yes, he may not have the greatest links, but he does technically give both other units in the rotation 2 keys, so he's technically giving 4 key back, if you get what I'm saying. So there is, at least for me, some apparent value in that I think is beyond just him having good key links. So yeah, I do think there is a lot of value in Piccolo. We're going to see him in a couple situations as well, so we're not just going to see him in one rotation against the Metal Cooler. We'll see him in a couple rotations. I do think the superhero team that he leads is pretty good. Battle of the Wits is okay. I do think in the long run Gohan's leader skill will be better, just because of the amounts of hybrid Saiyans that do generally come out throughout the course of a year, and pretty much all of them are on Bond of Parent and Child or on Bond of Master and Disciple. Like, there's no real way hybrid Saiyans are not on either of those categories. So yeah, but yeah, obviously we're in a very good situation here. We're able to obviously basically just see how Piccolo does essentially, which I think is fine. Piccolo does a lot great. I definitely think you need to build him into crit. I think that is definitely the way to go. I think it's where you get the most value out of him. Personally speaking, I think it's where you get the most value out of him, because you can do some big damage in his giant form, in his base form. But yeah, generally speaking, Piccolo does great. You can see here, tanking will be fine, some decent damage, and yeah, just overall super solid. There's just, yeah, Piccolo just looks really good. Obviously his heals also something, like I said, that you do need to factor in. It is a little bit difficult to get. The threshold is a little bit lower than one might want, but generally speaking it's pretty good. I do think he obviously doesn't have attack nullification or something like Gohan, which can come in handy for Gohan later on. But yeah, I definitely think Piccolo was definitely the more defensive of the two, and in the current meta and just the way people like to read into the game, I think defense is seen as the better, like being a better defensive unit is seen as the better situation for a unit overall. So again, we're just going to see him against physical Metal Cooler. Nothing too crazy. We're just getting a couple looks at him, tanking attacks, doing fine, the kind of damage he can do. All of these Piccolos are at, I think 100%, like I'm 90% certain they're all at 100%. So yeah, they're all obviously cream of the crop. Very, very, very good units. But yeah, basically really, really solid. Overall, I think Piccolo's performance. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that detracts from his performance. Like I said, worst thing about him is his link set. Fair enough. But I think, honestly speaking, what he gives you is just so good comparatively to what you don't get, basically. So yeah, I think Piccolo looks really, really solid. I think, you know, we've seen him in multiple situations. He just tanks really, really well, man. Honestly, damage is pretty good. I don't think you get as insane damage as you do with Gohan. I do think the giant form does help out though, which obviously, you know, I'm not really showing off here, and there's no specific reason. I just think, you know, the giant form is really good. Whether I show it to you or not, like, giant forms are pretty straightforward is what I mean to say. They nullify damage, which is awesome, and they give you like a lot of output, right? Piccolo's one gives you exceptional output because it has that additional chance, and you can build Piccolo for crit, so it can just do a lot of damage, and I think that's obviously very, very good. But yeah, honestly, Piccolo, super duper good. I don't think you need to see any more of him. I don't think there's a single person that can argue that he's not one of the top units in the game. And yeah, just overall, a very, very, very good unit. And yeah, bye.